person never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent, and he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. You know, he's 100% exonerated from the gun, and for that alone, he should be home with his family.
A man sits in a California prison, convicted in a case that captivated the world. On the surface, the story is closed, the verdict delivered. But behind the scenes, a rebellion is brewing. A growing chorus of celebrities, politicians, and insiders are all saying the same thing. The conviction of Tory Lanez was a lie. This is no longer just a legal battle. It's a war for the truth, fought with secret phone calls, leaked audio, and explosive testimony that threatens to expose a conspiracy reaching the highest levels of the music industry. The question is no longer just about what happened that night. It's about who has been pulling the strings all along.
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent, and he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. You know, he's 100% exonerated from the gun, and for that alone, he should be home with his family.
The first cracks in the official story appeared not in a courtroom, but on social media, led by some of entertainment's most outspoken figures. Amber Rose was one of the first to draw a line in the sand, declaring her unwavering support for Tory. She claimed he personally called her from prison to share his side of the story, and what he told her changed everything. The infamous text message where Tory apologized had been used by the public as a clear admission of guilt. But according to Amber, the message had nothing to do with the shooting. It was about a personal, private matter, and its meaning was twisted to fit a narrative. Her advocacy wasn't just based on a feeling. She insisted the evidence itself proved his innocence and that Governor Gavin Newsom should issue a pardon.
Well, I heard the whole story from Tory's mouth. He called me personally from prison, and I now understand why he said sorry, and it's not for any shooting at all. So I'll let him tell that story when he comes home, but the sorry was not for what people think it was for.
But he did share a petition on his Instagram story asking Governor Newsom to pardon Tory. Along with the petition, he added a short message that said, "Come home soon." One commented, "Release Tory Lanez, he is innocent."
But the support wasn't all loud. Some of the biggest names in music made their stance known through quiet, calculated moves. Drake, an artist famously careful with his public image, shared a petition on his Instagram to free Tory, adding the simple but powerful message, "Come home soon." In the world of celebrity chess, this was a king making a move. The ripples were felt instantly. Soon, fans noticed other patterns. Kim Kardashian was spotted listening to Tory's music. ASAP Rocky still followed Tory on social media, but not Megan. Justin Bieber unfollowed Megan, but kept following Tory. These may seem like minor details, but in an industry where every online interaction is scrutinized, they were signals of a shifting tide, hinting at conversations and alliances happening far from the public eye. But as celebrity support grew, something far more unexpected was happening in the halls of power.
Stepping up and calling out California Governor Gavin Newsom, demanding Tory's freedom. Yeah, you heard me. She's saying Tory's 10-year sentence was all messed up, full of shaky evidence, political pressure, and bias. She promised some explosive new proof would drop in the next 36 hours, something that could turn the whole case upside down.
The case suddenly exploded from a Hollywood drama into a political firestorm when a U.S. Congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna, stepped into the fray. In a move that shocked everyone, she publicly called on Governor Gavin Newsom to free Tory Lanez. She didn't just suggest a review. She alleged the entire 10-year sentence was the result of shaky evidence, immense political pressure, and a biased trial. She then dropped a bombshell promise. In the next 36 hours, she would release explosive new proof that could turn the entire case on its head. Megan Thee Stallion's camp immediately fired back. Her lawyer insisted the conviction was righteous and fair, while Megan herself took to social media with a blunt, defiant message: "He shot me. Facts don't lie." The lines were drawn, but while this public battle raged, a chilling event took place behind prison walls, suggesting someone wanted Tory silenced for good.
But things got even darker when Tory was attacked in prison. Not just a little scuffle, y'all. He was stabbed 14 times. He ended up with a collapsed lung and had to be put on a breathing machine. Very scary stuff.
Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times by another inmate at a California prison. He suffered 2 collapsed lungs, but we are told he is now breathing on his own.
Whispers from inside the correctional facility turned into alarming headlines. Tory Lanez had been attacked. Reports described a brutal altercation, leaving him seriously injured and needing urgent medical attention. But it was the timing of the incident that raised the most suspicion. The attack allegedly occurred just days before his legal team was set to present new, potentially game-changing evidence. The rumor mill went into overdrive. Was this a random act of prison violence or a targeted hit? Many of Tory's supporters believed it was the latter, an attempt to intimidate him, or worse, to stop him from ever revealing what he knew. Fingers began pointing toward the powerful forces his father had accused, suggesting a desperate move to keep Tory locked up and quiet, no matter the cost.
Meg's ex-best friend might be the real shooter, not Tory. Get this, Harris is the same woman who pleaded the fifth when they asked if she saw Tory shoot Megan.
But they couldn't keep the truth buried forever. While recovering, Tory himself dropped an audio bombshell from a prison phone call that directly challenged the integrity of the prosecution's case. He claimed that the court had been lied to about the most critical piece of physical evidence: the DNA on the weapon. The prosecution had presented the DNA results as inconclusive, a gray area that left room for doubt but didn't clear him. Tory's claim was far more definitive. He stated, with no ambiguity, that his DNA was 100% excluded from the gun. If true, this wasn't just a minor detail. It was a deception at the heart of the trial. It meant the scientific evidence didn't just fail to prove his guilt. It actively pointed toward his innocence.
So the girl comes out of the rear passenger, and she goes to the front passenger, and she opens up the car door.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other, and they start fighting.
The 2 girls.
Yeah, I can see one feet coming out trying to kick her, and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
I am 100% excluded, not inconclusive like they said when I was in trial. I'm 100% excluded from this gun when it comes to DNA.
And if his DNA wasn't on the weapon, it begged the question: what really happened in that car? An audio recording from one of the defense's own witnesses, taken on the night of the incident, began to circulate, painting a picture of pure chaos that looked nothing like the prosecution's neat story. In the recording, the witness describes a wild scene. They tell the police they saw 2 women, Megan and her then-best friend, Kelsey Harris, in a vicious fight. They describe screaming, shouting, and even feet coming out of the car as one woman tried to kick the other. According to this witness, the driver got out to break up the fight, but Tory Lanez remained in the back seat, seemingly uninvolved in the physical altercation. Then came the most crucial detail. The witness tells the officer the shots came from one of the women.
Apparently, Kelsey Harris's own bodyguard, Bradley James, overheard her admit that she was the one who pulled the trigger. According to him, Tory didn't fire a single shot. Instead, he was trying to keep things from going down. Apparently, there was a fight between 2 women, and Tory just happened to be caught in the middle of it.
This witness account created a new timeline, a new set of possibilities. But the most damning accusation was yet to come, and it would point the finger directly at Megan's former best friend. A social justice organization called Unite the People held a press conference that would blow the case wide open. They presented a sworn affidavit from a man named Bradley Fogel, who served as Kelsey Harris's bodyguard. What he claimed to have heard was nothing short of a confession. According to Fogel, in the emotional and chaotic aftermath of the incident, he overheard a drunken Kelsey admit that she was the one who had fired the gun. His testimony went even further, claiming Tory never fired a single shot. Instead, he alleged that Tory was desperately trying to stop Kelsey from shooting when the gun discharged multiple times during their struggle. This wasn't just a theory anymore. It was a sworn statement from someone in the inner circle, completely rewriting the events of that night.
Putting the blame on Meg Thee Stallion and her team, especially Roc Nation and its founder Jay-Z. I just witnessed the biggest injustice right here in Los Angeles. You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel.
With the shooter allegedly identified, the question shifted from who did it to why the blame was pinned so squarely on Tory Lanez. For the answer, many looked toward one of the most powerful empires in modern music, Roc Nation. The theory had been simmering for years, but exploded into the mainstream when Tory's father, Sunstar Peterson, stood on the courthouse steps and delivered a fiery, emotional speech. He didn't just blame a corrupt system, he named names. He accused Roc Nation, its COO Desiree Perez, and its founder, Jay-Z, of orchestrating a conspiracy to frame his son. The rumored motive was simple but ruthless. Tory had famously remained an independent artist, refusing to sign with a major label like Roc Nation. This independence, some say, was seen as a threat. The theory suggests that when the incident occurred, Roc Nation saw an opportunity to protect its own rising star, Megan Thee Stallion, by sacrificing the artist who refused to bend the knee. Suddenly, the case wasn't just about a fight between friends. It was potentially an example of corporate power crushing an independent rival.
Jeff played a role in making sure Tory got tangled up in legal drama. Rumors have it that on social media, people are calling out Jay-Z, accusing him of not being for the culture and of using his power to control who rises and falls.
This leaves us in a precarious and explosive moment. On one side, there is a legal conviction and a prison sentence. On the other, there is a mountain of counter-evidence, a U.S. Congresswoman demanding action, an eyewitness claiming a woman was the shooter, a bodyguard swearing he heard a confession, and Tory himself alleging a massive DNA cover-up. A gubernatorial pardon, or the validation of this new evidence, would do more than just free one man. It would be a public admission that the justice system got it wrong, a move that could unravel Megan Thee Stallion's narrative and pose a direct challenge to the immense power and influence of figures like Jay-Z. The pushback is loud, and the stakes have never been higher. Is the truth, buried under layers of celebrity, power, and money, finally about to see the light of day? Or is this just another chapter in a story where justice depends entirely on who is telling it? This case is far from over, and the world is watching to see which side will win.